So tell me a feel-good story. Let's
So we
get.
talked about the student that is going to be a farrier, which is just like amazing. And so I'm going to bring it a little bit closer to home to one of my own kids. So my daughter Sarah, when she was in her junior year of high school, the spring of her junior year of high school, she took her first ever vocal class to sing.
Okay.
She'd sung a little bit, in church and whatever, but never had a formal music instruction, never had a formal music lesson, nothing. But she took her first class as a dual enrolled high school junior in the spring semester.
Yeah.
And she took it over here at PG Community College. She has a gift, and they saw that gift. And I will tell you that she is now on a full ride at Peabody Institute of Johns Hopkins University. Yes. So don't tell me that you're a homeschooler and you can't, go to college. She's at Peabody Institute of Johns Hopkins University, y'all. Okay. On a full ride. Okay. And so I'm so excited about her because the other thing is that this summer, she was accepted into the summer program at the Vienna Opera Academy. And I don't mean Vienna, Virginia. This is Vienna, Austria, the birthplace of opera. And she's going to be singing a principal role of Dorabella in Mozart's Così fan tutte.
Così fan tutte.
Così fan tutte.
I ordered that at Mama Lucia's last week.
But again, what are we talking about? We're talking about giving kids an environment where they're able to pursue their passions. Who knew? She didn't know that she was going to do this. She just said, okay, I think I'll take a class. I got a dual enroll. Mom says I got a dual enroll. I think I'll take a music class. They discover her talent. They fuel that. And now she, again, is on a full ride. And now she's talking about going to grad school. She wants to get a master's. Yay!
In what?
In vocal performance.
I didn't know that's
Because she can do
available.
that. Because she can do that. So there's that. There's my son, Samuel, who discovered, y'all, late. We're talking real late, like this past summer. He's a senior. If you had asked him a year ago what he was going to do, he'd have been like, I don't know. I'm just going to go to community college and figure it out. And I have to say, to the credit, that's one of the beauties of community college and the beauties of dual enrolling, is because you have an opportunity to take classes as a high schooler, figure out what works for you, what you like and what you don't like, right? Not, as opposed to spending, the first 2 years, some kids graduate with their associates, but so he discovered that he likes airplanes. And then towards the end of the summer was like, I think I want to be a pilot. And so now he's taking an aviation science class. He's going to get his pilot's license. He's going to actually sit for that exam. And he applied to 13 schools, all of which had aviation programs. And he's getting accepted and he's getting money. He's getting scholarship money, merit scholarship. I know. And so I'm so excited because at spring break, we got to go to Florida because among the places that he was accepted is Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University down in Daytona Beach. Embry-Riddle.
I've heard of that.
Aeronautical University, got accepted there. He also got accepted to Jacksonville University. So we're going to go there. He's applied and we're going to go over to University of Maryland Eastern Shore because they have an aviation program here as well. Yep. So he's been accepted to a number of places. And so, again, these are the things that happen when we give our kids the opportunity to discover their passions and we give them the freedom. And that's happening outside of the box. I
think it's about time to come out of the box.
It is time to come out of the box. Yeah, and give our kids incredible opportunities. And that's what I love about homeschooling, but also parent-led education, because it does put the parents in charge. It gives them the opportunity and the freedom for their kids to excel and for their kids to discover what they learn, for their kids to learn the fundamentals of reading and writing and arithmetic, to help them become productive members of society, to give them the skills that they need in life to be successful.
Now, if somebody wants to contact you because they want to put their kid
come on by.
in touch with some of the other students that are in your program, they can talk to them about?
Sure, absolutely.
How might they reach you?
Yeah, visit us up on the web. We're at www.extendhomeschool.com.
That's a lot of letters.
That's www.extend. Think of extending your homeschool experience. Extendhomeschool.com.
Extendhomeschool.com.
Yeah.
And do you have
come and see us.
Do you have adult ed programs?
I wish. No, we're elementary, middle, and high. Sorry. But you know what's so good? Let me just share something with you. about homeschooling, about this whole idea of, yeah, really it is homeschooling. When you homeschool, we talk about this all the time, is that you're recapturing 2 generations. Listen, I thought I was a really good writer. I would consider myself a really good writer. But I learned so much when I homeschooled my kids, and they went through excellence in writing. And I learned about dress-ups, and I learned about, varying my sentence openers, and I learned about, quality adjectives and strong verbs. And I learned about things like this clausal openings, this WWW, and I'm speaking Chinese now, but
or World Wrestling Federation.
No. It's when, while, where, as, since, if, although. Those are all clausals, and those clauses can be used inside a sentence, and they can also be used as the beginning of sentence openers. See, I'm teaching you something here. But listen, when we educate our kids, one of the beauties is that we get to learn alongside them, and it makes us better.
So do you actually have parents as part of the program?
Absolutely.
So if
oh my goodness, absolutely. So let me tell you what's so good about this.
What is so good about this?
I love it. Because when we, people talk about community all day long, right? And I feel like community is overused. But in our program, it's real. So our parents are involved. Parents come in and 7 days out of the week, they are in our program helping us to set up.
Really?
Yes, they might find themselves in a classroom helping out.
Okay, but they have full-time jobs.
I understand. So you know what? But they take off those 7 days. Either it aligns with the day that they have already off, because it's a holiday or whatever, or they'll just say their personal time off. But they do that. It's part of our program.
Weekly or just the
No.
7 days?
7 days out of the entire program year.
Okay.
Yeah.
Out of the semester or the year?
Out of the entire program year, between September and June.
So they got to show up.
They
7
show
days,
up,
somehow
7
mix
days,
or match?
somehow mix or match.
Right.
They show up, they come and help set up, so they get to experience what it is like to go and set these classrooms up.
Right.
They get to experience what it is to kind of monitor what's happening in the hallway, or they get to experience what it is to be in the classroom helping out one of our instructors, right? At
You
the
said
end
a
of the day,
hallway.
they help.
This isn't a home?
No, we meet in the church.
So you're not home?
No, we're not. That's why okay, remember when I said, didn't we talk about that before?
No, I don't know.
I don't know if we talked about that, but it's so funny. That's why we like to use the word parent-led education, because homeschoolers implies that you're at home.
Yeah.
And I don't know of many homeschoolers that are home most of the time. We are out and about. That's why our kids are socialized, because we are out and about. We are going to libraries, we're going to museums, we are going to, oh my goodness, we're going to cultural centers, we're going to the Kennedy Center to see, programs. We are out and about in the community. We're going to farms, we're going to, we're going to historical sites. We're out and about because we believe in experiential learning. And so for us, and we're in a tutorial, we actually meet at a church, right? And so we're not in, and let me tell you why that is. Part of the reason why that is, I love for my kids to have a science education. And when my son was taking anatomy and physiology, they were dissecting cats. And frankly, I don't want them dissecting cats in my kitchen.
Oh, no.
I don't want stuff to be blown up in my kitchen or my living room. I'd much rather stuff get blown up in a tutorial. So that's one of the reasons why people will, we call it farming out some of those subjects, because, I'm not trying to blow up my kitchen. I'm afraid of blowing up my kitchen.
Well, this is
but I have somebody that's really competent, that loves science, that can do it, that can help the kids, dissect cats and dissect worms and dissect frogs and all those things. And so that's happening outside of the house.
Well, this is quite different, because when I hear homeschooling, I just figure there's kids sitting in front of a TV eating Cheerios all day.
No, far from it.
Apple Jacks, maybe.
Far from
Raisin
it.
Bran.
No, far from it. We do field trips. We do prom.
I kid. You
Okay.
do prom.
Yeah,
How do
we
you do prom?
Okay, so and
You got like
so,
3 kids that go to a prom?
No, we got a couple hundred kids that went to
How do
prom
you
last year.
get 100 kids?
Because there are so many homeschoolers. Dimitri, we're all over the place.
This word is
We're
inaccurate.
all over. It is.
It's
I
not.
know,
It's not
I
homeschooling.
I know. This parent-led education.
Some kind of an academy.
Yeah, no, but I'm just telling you. So what we do is that you have different communities that will get together. Again,
How much does this
communities.
cost? We didn't even talk about price.
Oh, it depends. So it depends. Now, I will tell you, at our program was specifically designed to be incredibly affordable. So this year for 2025, 2026, if you're in elementary or middle school, those classes are $400 for the year. For the whole year. Yeah, I know. People are like, for the year.
So all you got to do is get your kid out there selling newspapers. You're going to earn your tuition.
But it's for the year, right? And let me just tell you why that happened.
Well, whatever's left over, Mom and Dad are going on vacation.
And here's why, is because what I noticed when I first, when the Lord just gave me this vision for Extend, was I noticed that there were, non-traditional programs that are out there, but many of them were really expensive. And to me, I'm sorry, and I don't mean to step on people's toes, but I really believe that homeschooling and education is supposed to be affordable.
Okay, you guys need a new word, because homeschooling's horrible.
All right.
Why is homeschooling horrible?
It's not horrible. It's fabulous. It's a dream. It's a dream. But I'm going to say is that every child deserves to have a quality education, and it has to be affordable. And so we have gone through great lengths and great pains to make sure that our program is within financial reach of whomever walks through our doors.
Wonderful. So inner city kids that are stuck in schools that are full of violence, and
oh my goodness,
then they get beat up for learning. Hey, that guy's learning. Let's beat him up.
And that's what you see. What you're seeing happening right now is you have a lot of families that are leaving the traditional education schoolhouse because of things like bullying, because of things like
Bullying doesn't happen in your environment?
So you know what's so good about that? No. You know why? Number one, we're small, right? And number two, and because the parents are involved. And let me just say, number three, because listen, if you cut up in class, I have your parents, I'm gonna call your mama, right? And so we're gonna take care of that. We take care of that, so it's not allowed to happen here. That's our standard. We have a standard in our community that says we do not tolerate bullying of any kind. And if we see it, we're going to put an end to it. We're going to deal with it immediately. Now, sometimes that means that, hey, you need to be taught differently. You're coming out of this situation, and so you're now in a position where you think that you have to self-protect and you have to, but we're not those people. We're creating an environment where it's safe for you to be you. And you don't have to, try to defend yourself. Nobody is here attacking you. And I think that's what we see sometimes, is that the reason why you have this, you think about it, people that are bullying, they're scared.
Yeah.
They're they're fearful. They're doing all these things to try to self-protect. They're hiding behind this image of, I'm this big, strong person. And then inside they're really tender. Well, what happens when you create an environment where that tender heart is able to be released, right? What happens? Incredible things happen. That person can change completely. We change them from the inside out.
You could shoe horses for a living.
You could shoe horses for a living.
Wow, a farrier.
Yeah.
Well, Kim, I can't begin to say thank you for this.
Thank you.
This wonderful, Extend, non-traditional,
parent-led,
non-homeschooling.
Listen,
you're not at home.
I know,
you're
not at home. That's true. We're
if you're
never
home,
at
you're
home.
eating Apple Jacks and,
we're not at
got
home.
milk
We're
running down your
about.
front shirt. So, ladies and gentlemen, let's just give Kim Kent, director and co-founder of Extend Homeschool Tutorial.
Yeah.
Give her a call. Get your kids in there. $400. What is $400? That's like 2 tickets to watching Alex Ovechkin get his 895th goal. So, and we know that's coming. All right, Kimmy.
Thank you.
Thank you, dear.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.
You.
It's a pleasure.
Yay. All right.